tonight. Flaws and edges, they shine so bright in the glow. Yeah, I feel alive. No need for someone to arrive. The rhythm's mine. I take control. I'm the spark. I'm the soul. I got that magnetic glow. Pull you in, but I let it show. Dancing solo, stealing the floor. Self-love's the vibe. Let the magic flow. Oh, velvet skies can't dim my fire. Every step climbs a little higher. I'm a secret you can't ignore. Unlock the love. Found the core. Feel the bassline. Let it hum. Oh, I'm the heat. I'm the drum. I got that magnetic glow. Pull you in, but I let it show. Dancing solo, still in the floor. Self-love's the vibe. Let the magic flow.
I'm Mahogany with HT Chronicles, and we just wrapped up HT's English and Communication Department's Appreciation Luncheon. It was a special occasion considering our department works quietly yet powerfully behind the scenes on campus. So far, we've come across the founder of production companies Made with Love Media and Emmy Award-winning film producer, Dr. Stephen Love. Dr. Love, welcome to HT. And so far, how did you enjoy the event?
Thank you. I really enjoyed the event. It's always a pleasure to be on HT's beautiful campus.
Well, Dr. Love, considering your accolades, especially you producing films and producing music videos with names such as John Legend, what attracted you to HT, especially considering it's a private institution?
Yeah, well, I'm an HBCU grad myself. I went to Morehouse College undergraduate before I went to film school at USC in LA. So HBCUs already have a spot in my heart, but HT specifically is really uniquely positioned because it's in Austin, Texas, where it's a really weird but amazing hub of music and tech and film, and there's a HBCU right down the street from where one of the biggest festivals happens in South by Southwest. And so South by Southwest is actually how I ended up on HT's campus in the first place. I was there earlier in 2025 and met President Wallace, and she was just like, what do you do and who are you, basically? And that turned into a conversation about how she really had a passion, and so did Dr. Stewart and Professor Mouton, to help advance the communications program here. And I couldn't help myself but say, well, I could probably help, and that has turned into, teaching a class this semester and next semester, as well as, we're going to make an announcement here soon about something bigger, but really, coming to help advance the program overall.
I really appreciate that take. And speaking of class, you'll be teaching a entrepreneurship and management course, is that correct?
Yeah. So next semester I'm teaching a media entrepreneurship and management course, which is literally what I do for a living, so it's right up my alley. Made with Love Media is a film and television production company, but I also own an advertising studio, which is both production and campaign development strategy and creative execution overall for brands. And so, and then I also represent and help build brand deals for people like Tabitha Brown, who's a actress and influencer and author and businesswoman, and icon in a lot of ways, right? And so, there's that side of my world, and then I got 10 jobs, so because I can't stop, I also am the chief strategy officer for Martian Blueberry Animation. So that company is led by Carl Jones, who was the co-executive producer on Boondocks. He was the head writer and EP on Black Dynamite as a series, The Jellies, Chamberlain Heights, Hair Love as a TV series called Young Love, and a myriad of other things. And so, I just have a passion for building empire and infrastructure around creative people. And that's what producing is in a lot of ways on a micro level for film and TV. And that's now kind of changed into or evolved into, building real empire and infrastructure for other people.
Well, considering you building an empire and with you being so HBCU proud, what do you feel that your students can get out of your entrepreneurship and management course, not just mentally, but also just lifestyle-wise?
That's a great question. I think it's important when you're building anything, but certainly business, to also be conscious in the ways that you go about doing that, right? So not just focused on, okay, how do I build this so I can make money, right? It's like, how can I do this and create real impact, right? And so I hope people walk away from that class, understanding not only how to avoid being a starving artist, right, which is really important, but also walk away from that class learning how to do it in a way that is respectable, responsible, and impactful.
Considering your range of work, not just film, but also entrepreneurship, what do you feel like your students could get out of the overall media landscape to consider how to build their own platforms and, create opportunity for themselves?
Honestly, you kind of answered the question, which is I think people, I hope students walk away learning that they need to build their own platform, need to build avenues toward their audiences, so that when they walk into any room, whether they're asking for financing for a movie or they're asking a network to kind of be a channel for their podcast, or if they're creating YouTube content, etc., that they first and foremost learn exactly who they are as a creative, and then from that learn exactly who their audience is for whatever storytelling they're embarking upon, because that is essentially what's going to be required in this next phase of the creator economy is to have what we call owned audience, which just means that even if you're a filmmaker going a traditional route and you're going to make a movie with a studio, etc., you can tell that studio exactly who your audience is and exactly how to market to that audience. And if you can do that, you're kind of untouchable.
As you help your students develop and integrate yourself into this environment, what message do you have for your future students?
You have everything you need.
Continuing our presence at HT's English and Communication Department's Appreciation Luncheon, we're here with the former CEO of Indeed,
Chris Hyams.
And he's here to tell us more about his presence here and what he's talked about during his presentations. It's very much appreciated, Chris. Thank you for your time, by the way. And how do you feel about how this event has went so far?
Well, this is amazing. This is the inaugural event. It's the first time, and I don't actually know if this has been done for other departments at HT before, but it was really extraordinary to see the number of people that turned up, both the students and faculty, but also partners from the outside, and really the idea of just being able to give the outside world a sense of what are the amazing things that are going on here on campus with the students, the student work, and also all the partnership programs. So it was really exciting to be here.
Definitely, I second that. And speaking of exciting things, you mentioned your role in advocacy, especially when it comes to educating individuals on AI and, just staying, utilizing your critical thinking. What else would you like to add to that so our viewers know exactly what you touched on?
Yeah, well, so I have been a board trustee here at Houston-Tillotson for the last 3 years, and I left my job at Indeed after 15 years just in June to work full-time on AI ethics and responsible AI. I believe that that's the civil rights and human rights issue of our lifetime, and I've started that work by coming here to HT as a visiting lecturer. So I am wrapping up on Monday my first semester of teaching here. I'm teaching a class on responsible AI. I have a really cross-functional group of students from every single department at HT, and part of the goal of this is to really help people understand, number one, that the impact of technology and something like AI, and the more technology becomes important in our lives, I believe the more important humanity becomes. And that means actually that it's not just the people who are coming from the STEM world or people who are building the technology, but the people who are steeped in the humanities, like folks who are studying English and communications, which I believe is actually more important now than ever before.
Yes, and it's telling that you mentioned humanity being centered and including individuals, the general public, not just those who create technology. When you think of the field of technology, how can you implement people, other individuals, regular individuals, even working class citizens into, instilling the same advocacy that you do. What advice would you have for someone wanting to instill that advocacy and put it out there to teach people how to be ethical?
Yeah, well, the first and most important thing, I think, is that we have right now, I feel like, a big gap between there are people who are in the technology world who feel like this new technology is theirs, it's something they understand, it's something they can shape. And then there's a whole bunch of people who feel like that's something that I will never understand and I'm not a part of it. In fact, in my class, I did a survey at the beginning of the semester asking everyone, are you excited about AI? Are you concerned about AI? Do you think it's impacting you and your community today? Do you think it will impact them in the future? But also, how important do you think it is for you to play a role in shaping the future of AI? And that question scored the lowest at the beginning of the semester. I'm doing a survey at the end, and so I'll report back on how people feel at the end. But my goal was really for everyone to feel like they have to be a part of this in one way or another. So what I really tried to do was demystify what is going on. I want everyone to understand enough of the technology and how it works. We spent the first 5 weeks of the semester just talking about how large language models work and doing that for English majors and sociology majors and some computer science majors who were there as well. But what I wanted everyone to have was enough of an understanding that then they could hear a bit of news, or hear someone talking, and instead of just shutting off and saying I'm not interested, or just taking whatever they say at face value, to think critically, to have discernment, and to ask, where's this person coming from? Why do they want me to believe this? And to feel confident enough to form their own opinions. And that includes, I told them on day one, don't take anything I say for granted as well. You should, if you agree with me or disagree with me, I don't care as long as you're thinking and making your own decisions. And so I'm hoping that education, I came from a background, and I talked about this in the talk today, I'm a liberal arts undergraduate. I worked in adolescent addiction recovery. I taught special education public high school before going and studying computer science. And to me, the combining of the humanities and the technology is really the most important path forward. So I'll just give one quick pitch. I'm teaching an expanded version of the class in the spring here at Houston-Tillotson for any HT students. It's going to be Tuesdays and Thursdays, 3:30 to 4:45. It is open to all students. I'm also teaching a version of it online for non-HT students, and so for anyone else. And I'm really encouraging anyone who is not a computer science major, someone who doesn't already feel like they know everything about AI, who wants to learn more both about how it works, but what some of the challenges are and what a path forward to doing that ethically. I would hope that they might all join in, and you can find out about the class on ht.edu.